Let's be honest. Deep down, we all want to look rich. Pull up somewhere in a car that makes people think, okay, this guy's doing well for himself. The problem? Reality. Not everyone has a spare 100 grand lying around for a brand new Mercedes or Porsche. But here's the secret. If you know what to look for, you can get that exact look, that VIP energy, for the price of a used Toyota Corolla. Today, we're breaking down 5 luxury cars that look like $1,000,000, but can be had for under 25 grand. We'll talk about the engines you want, the headaches you don't, and why each of these cars makes you look like you own the building, even if you're just renting the apartment above the laundromat. Let's jump in. Car number 1, Mercedes-Benz S-Class. We're starting with the obvious, the Mercedes S-Class. This is the definition of luxury. When heads of state roll up, when rappers film a video, when your shady uncle tries to flex at a wedding. 9 times out of 10, it's an S-Class. The W221 generation, built from 2007 to 2013, still looks expensive today. The proportions are perfect. Long hood, big chrome grille, presents for days. Park it anywhere and people automatically assume you've made it. Inside? Forget it. This isn't a car, it's a mobile lounge. Napa leather, polished wood, buttons everywhere that do things you didn't even know cars could do. In 2007, this thing had features that normal cars didn't get until a decade later: radar cruise control, night vision cameras, massaging seats that turn traffic jams into spa treatments. Under the hood, the smart buy is the S550 with the 5.5-liter naturally aspirated V8. Smooth, powerful, and far less terrifying than the twin-turbo monsters further up the lineup. The AMG models are insane, but they'll also make your mechanics kid's college fund very secure. And here's the kicker. You can find clean S500s today for $10,000 to $15,000. That's insane, considering they were $90,000 to $120,000 new. Yes, you might even see one listed for under $8,000. But at that price, expect cigarette burns in the seats, a sagging suspension, and at least 3 warning lights on the dash. The sweet spot is paying a little more for a car that's been loved, otherwise you'll regret your bargain. Of course, the catch is maintenance. The famous AR-matic suspension rides like a dream until it leaks. Then suddenly your S-Class is sitting lower than a stance kit at a car meet. Electronics, infotainment, door locks, random modules, all potential headaches. But when it's working, nothing on earth feels like an S-Class. It's not a car, it's a statement. It tells the world you're important, even if you only paid Corolla money for it. Car number 2, BMW 7 Series. If the S-Class is all about comfort and prestige, the BMW 7 Series is the one that pretends it still goes to the gym. It's the luxury sedan for people who actually like to drive. The F01 generation, sold from 2009 to 2015, still looks sharp today. BMW ditched the awkward bangle butt design and gave us something sleek, wide, and athletic. Park an F01 at the valet and it still says, "Important guy incoming." Inside, it's classic BMW. Serious, clean, no nonsense. The driver gets a cockpit that feels like a private jet, while the passengers sit in business class comfort. And back in 2009, the tech was next level. Adaptive headlights, iDrive, even optional rear seat entertainment for your spoiled kids. Engines, though, are where this car plays tricks. The 740i with BMW's turbo inline-6 is the secret hero. Smooth, powerful, and less likely to ruin your bank account. The 750i with the infamous N63 twin-turbo V8, on paper, nearly 400 horsepower. In reality, a nightmare of timing chains, turbos, and oil leaks. Unless it's been rescued with BMW's big recall package, buying one is basically a financial Russian roulette. Price-wise, you can grab a 740i today for $9,000 to $14,000. Yes, that's less than a used Honda Accord. You'll see cheaper ones, but again, cheap luxury cars age like cheap wine. Under $9,000 usually means 3 owners, deferred maintenance, and a glove box full of unfixable warning lights. Driving one, though, is special. The 7 Series manages to feel both huge and athletic, like a linebacker in a tailored suit. It can cruise in total silence, then suddenly wake up and charge through corners with surprising agility. It's not a sports car, but for a 4,500-pound sedan, it moves with confidence. Of course, it's a BMW, so ownership is a gamble. Cooling system leaks, random electronics, and of course, that air suspension. Owning one is like dating a supermodel. Amazing while it lasts, but expected to get expensive. Car number 3, Jaguar XJ. Now, if you're sick of the Germans, maybe it's time to go British. The Jaguar XJ is the car you buy when you want to stand out. Not because it screams for attention, but because it whispers it with a posh accent. The X351 generation, launched in 2011, was a radical departure for Jaguar. Gone was the boxy, old-money design. Instead, we got this sleek coupe-like sedan with a fastback roofline. Even now, it looks futuristic. Pull up in one and people won't think you got it cheap. They'll assume you just left a royal event. Step inside, and it's pure drama. Leather and wood everywhere, but in a way that feels bespoke, not mass-produced. The start button pulses like a heartbeat. Fire it up, and the gear selector rises from the center console like a magic trick. Small detail, huge impact. Under the hood, most US models came with a 5.0-liter V8, either naturally aspirated or supercharged. And the supercharged versions are no joke. 470-plus horsepower in a car that looks this elegant is dangerous in the best way. Now yes, Jaguar has a reputation. Old Jags broke down if you looked at them wrong, but the X351 is surprisingly solid. Sure, electronics can still be moody, and the infotainment system feels like it was designed on Windows XP, but overall these cars hold up better than you'd expect. And the prices? Brand new, these were $90,000 to $100,000. Today, you can snag one for $12,000 to $20,000. Want one under $12,000? They exist, usually with sky-high miles and a maintenance history that reads like a horror story. The real treat, though, is the driving. Thanks to its aluminum construction, the XJ is lighter than an S-Class or 7 Series, so it actually feels agile. Comfortable when you're cruising, sharp when you push it. It's the rare luxury car that can play both roles. Gentleman's cruiser and backroad surprise. This isn't the safe choice, it's the bold one. The car that says, yes, I like luxury, but I also like being interesting. The car number 4, Lexus LS 460. Now, after the drama of the Jaguar, let's switch gears to something completely different. The Lexus LS 460. If the S-Class is prestige and the BMW is performance, the Lexus is reliability dressed up in a tuxedo. The LS has always been Lexus's big flagship, and the 2007 to 2017 LS 460 is peak stealth wealth. Outside, it's subtle. It doesn't shout for attention, but anyone who knows cars will recognize it instantly. Inside, it's like stepping into a sanctuary. Perfectly stitched leather, buttery smooth buttons, and an atmosphere of quiet competence. Everything is built not just to impress you today, but to still work flawlessly 10 years from now. And in many cases, it does. Power comes from a 4.6-liter V8, good for around 380 horsepower. Not the fastest engine here, but silky smooth. Paired with an 8-speed automatic, it delivers a driving experience that feels calm, controlled, and absolutely effortless. Here's the real selling point. While the Germans might hit you with surprise 4-figure repair bills, the Lexus LS is built to last. Yes, the air suspension on high trims can still leak. Yes, early 8-speeds had a few quirks, but generally, these cars will do 200,000 miles and still feel like new. And the prices are just as smooth. Back in the day, this was a $75,000 luxury sedan. Today, $10,000 to $18,000. If you see one for less, sure, but it'll probably have enough miles to circle the moon, and the interior will look like a golden retriever lived in it. The Lexus LS isn't flashy, it doesn't demand attention, but that's its charm. It's the car for people who don't need to prove anything. They just want something that works, every single day, while still looking classy. Car number 5, Audi A8. And finally, if you want German precision without the Mercedes flash or BMW ego, you look at the Audi A8. This is the luxury car for people who like to fly under the radar, but still want to feel like Jason Statham in the Transporter. The D4 generation, sold from 2011 to 2017, is pure Audi design. Clean, sharp, elegant. The kind of car where less is more, no crazy lines, no over-the-top details, just quiet confidence. And those LED headlights? They made Audi the pioneer of turning car lights into fashion statements. The inside is equally impressive. Leather, aluminum, perfectly aligned seams, everything where it should be. It's like a luxury lounge you can actually drive. The tech, for the time, was cutting edge. Audi's MMI system controlled everything, and while it feels a bit dated now, it still works. Engines? In the US, you'll mostly find the 3.0-liter supercharged V6 and the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8. The V6 is the safer bet, plenty of power with fewer headaches. The V8 is a monster, but like all monsters, it demands feeding. Quattro all-wheel drive is standard, so rain, snow, or even spirited backroad driving, the A8 has your back. Price-wise, these were 6-figure cars brand new. Anywhere from $90,000 to $110,000. Today, $12,000 to $20,000. Yes, you might see them cheaper, but by then you're basically buying a parts car with an A8 badge. The catch is the usual luxury suspects. Air suspension, complex electronics, the occasional electrical ghost haunting the MMI system. But when it's all working, the A8 gives you that international businessman vibe for the price of a new Toyota Corolla. So there you have it. 5 cars that once sat in front of 5-star hotels, chauffeuring billionaires and politicians, now available for used civic money. The Mercedes S-Class, prestige on clearance. The BMW 7 Series, the athlete in a tailored suit. The Jaguar XJ, bold, dramatic, and stylish. The Lexus LS 460, luxury you can actually trust. The Audi A8, understated, sharp, and effortlessly cool. Yes, they're cheap to buy, but don't kid yourself, they're not cheap to own. That's the trade-off. You're buying into a world of high-end luxury, even if you paid economy prices. The trick is finding one that's been cared for, because while there are bargains out there, the really cheap ones, they usually look, smell, and drive like they were bargains for a reason. So, which one would you take home? The safe Lexus? The bold Jag? Or are you rolling the dice on a German money pit? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got plenty more stories of cars, legends, and hidden gems coming your way. Because remember, you don't need a millionaire's bank account to drive a millionaire's car.